Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here today. Today's video is going to be my August TBR, but also kind of just books that I'm really excited to read before I have to go back to school. My grad school semester starts at the end of this month. I actually don't even know the day because I'm afraid it's going to be sooner than I think, and I'm terrified. I'm feeling like I'm ready to be done. And I have 2 semesters left, so it's not a good place to be right now, but it's fine. Hey, let's be positive. Let's be optimistic. It's going to be a wonderful semester, and I'm so excited for it. Can't you tell? I'm so thrilled. Anyway, today's video is going to be August TBR. A lot of these books I have been like craving to read. They've been like on my shelves, or they're brand new, or they're new releases. There's a few audiobooks that aren't out yet that I was able to get my hands on or get my ears on, and I'm really excited to talk with you all about them. Also, this room is really hot, so if you see me start to, get a little shiny, it's not because it's hot, it's because I'm glowing from within about how excited I am about going back to school. Anyway, enough of my ramblings, enough of my morose feelings towards— morose? Are you kidding me? What a word! All right, let's begin with this beautiful little stack. I'm a little organized in this video, my friends. It might come as a shock to all of you, but I've actually kind of separated out the books based on general themes, genres, or book club necessities. So first we're gonna start with a little stack on Greek mythology. So in July, I read Song of Achilles, Ariadne, and Neon Gods. Neon Gods is like a modern erotic retelling of Hades and Persephone. But all 3 of those books have contributed some knowledge towards my mythology project, as well as these little beauties. So these are 4 books I'd love to read in August to contribute to that project. And the first one of that is The Silence of the Girls. I'll just read it to you. Here's the story of the Iliad as we've never heard it before, in the words of Briseis, Trojan queen and captive of Achilles. Given only a few words in Homer's epic and largely erased by history, she is nonetheless a pivotal figure in the Trojan War. In these pages, she comes fully to life, wry, watchful, forging connections among her— wow, that was such a bad way to read that sentence, sorry. In these pages, she comes fully to life, wry, watchful, forging connections among her fellow female prisoners, even as she is caught between Greece's 2 most powerful warriors. So, this sounds like a book all about Briseis, and I'm really excited about it. I think also maybe Helen shows up at one point, but I don't know if and when that actually happens, but I'm really excited. Briseis is such a strong character in the Song of Achilles. I'm dying to know more about her and to get a book from her perspective, so this sounds incredible. And also, such a great cover. Let's just give it a moment. Such a great cover. The next one, as I just mentioned, I read a Hades and Persephone retelling last month called Neon Gods, and I picked up another one, and that's called, A Touch of Darkness. I don't really need to say anything else, aside from the fact that it's a retelling of Hades and Persephone. And I do believe it is more modern. I think I might be wrong. This might be actually like taking place in ancient Greece, in which case, super exciting. I haven't heard too much about it, but I do really like the cover. And, I like the cover, and I'm excited to read it. All right, the next book is a book that I think any of you who have been interested in reading some Greek myth retellings, but you almost feel like you don't know what's going to happen because you don't really have a myth background, trust me, I'm there with you. 100%. I really only know the myths that I've read about in The Song of Achilles, Neon Gods, Circe, and Ariadne. Like, I'm not well-versed in myth at all, and so I picked up this book because it's talked about by, or it was written by the owner of a great podcast. Let me just show it to you. It's called Greek Mythology, The Gods, Goddesses, and Heroes Handbook. So cool. Basically, this was written by the author Liv Albert, who runs the podcast Let's Talk About Myths, baby. And I really like that podcast. I love her voice for podcasting. And so she runs a whole podcast about myths. And so she wrote a book about it, and she had this woman, Sarah Richard, illustrate it, and they are the coolest illustrations. If I can find any. Jeepers creepers. Let's see. We have... Look at this. Medea. Is it focusing? I hope so. But look! I'll just show you one more. I don't want to give it all away. We have this one. Pandora. Look at that. Look at that. Are you seeing it? I hope it's focused. If it's not, I look so dumb. But basically, it's illustrated, and it's just this quick, way to learn about Greek myth. And as I said, I'm trying to do some research for a project, and this feels like the perfect way to learn about mythology in a more accessible way, because Liv's, her writing, and also the way that she hosts her or narrates her voices, her podcast, is super personable. So I'm really excited to give this a read, take some notes, lots of sticky notes, lots of notes. Wow, I've said notes 3 times now, and that's a 4th. Anyway, I'm really excited about it, and I hope that it helps my project. So there we go. And then lastly, in the Greek myth category, we have 1,000 Ships. Now this one actually might be what I was thinking about with The Silence of the Girls, because this one definitely has Helen in it. Let me read you a little synopsis. In the middle of the night, a woman wakes to find her beloved city engulfed in flames. 10 seemingly endless years of conflict between the Greeks and the Trojans are over. Troy has fallen. From the Trojan women, whose fates now lie in the hands of the Greeks, to the Amazon princess who fought Achilles on their behalf, from Penelope awaiting the return of Odysseus, to the 3 goddesses whose feuds started it all, these are the stories of the women whose lives, lovers, and rivalries were forever altered by history's most infamous war. I almost got through that perfectly, and then I botched it at the end. But anyway, yeah, it's... I've seen this book around a lot, and I actually got myself an audiobook for it to match, so I'm really excited. I've already started listening to the audiobook, and it's pretty excellent, so if you're able to find yourself a copy, highly recommend listening to it, as well as reading it. I mean, they're one and the same, but I'm just telling you, I'm going to be listening while reading, and so far really enjoying it, so there we go. All right, this next book is a book that gives me Haunted Mansion vibes just based off the cover, and I do want to thank Berkeley Publishers for sending this to me, because once I saw the cover, I was like, I need to find me a copy of that ASAPually, and that is For Your Own Good. Look at it! This is looking cool. It's looking like Haunted Mansion. It's looking like the Haunted Mansion, like photos in the hallways before you get on the ride. You know what I mean? Let me give you a quick synopsis. Teddy Crutcher, that's a strong name, has won Teacher of the Year at the prestigious Belmont Academy, home to the best and brightest. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her in a while. Teddy really can't be bothered with a few mysterious deaths on campus that are looking more and more like murder, or the student digging a little too deep into Teddy's personal life. His main focus is pushing these kids to their full academic potential. So it sounds like there's a bit of a murder mystery, or a few, on a campus. And I talked about this earlier this year, but I read The Maidens, which has a similar feel of there's a murder on a campus and what's going on. So I loved that book, and I'm really excited to get to this book. Again, thank you so much to Berkeley Publishers for sending this to me. I am so grateful, and I can't wait to read it. All right, my little turtle doves. Before we get into the final 3 books that I have right here, I do want to give a shout out to 2 audiobooks that I have advanced listening copies for. There it is. And I got these advanced copies through Libro FM. So if you don't know, Libro FM is an audiobook app where when you buy an audiobook through their app, you actually end up supporting a local bookstore to yourself, and you can actually choose the bookstore that you support. So I have decided to support Book Inc., which is a bookstore that I go to on my lunch break when I'm working in the office, which is really fun. Anyway, I'm supporting Book Inc. You don't have to support Book Inc. You can support a bookstore that's closer to you. Anyway, that's what Libro FM is. I think they're an awesome app, and I'm really thankful to be on their like ALC program. So through that program, I was able to check out Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, which I'm already like a fourth of the way through or a third of the way through. And I'm actually really enjoying it, which is surprising for me because I didn't love Normal People and I didn't love Conversations with Friends. But I'm actually really enjoying this one. I feel really connected to one of the main characters. So that's awesome. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. And I think it comes out in September. So I'll let you all know how I end up liking it by the end of August. So that's one of the audiobooks that I got. The second one is A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. This is the same author that wrote The Girl on the Train and Into the Water. I liked The Girl on the Train more than Into the Water, but I really enjoy this author's writing when it comes to thrillers. And also, this audiobook is narrated by Rosamund Pike, who is Amy in Gone Girl and also Jane in Pride and Prejudice. I love her voice. I think it's such a good, thrilling voice. Anyway, to give you just a quick synopsis, it says, when a young man is found gruesomely murdered in a London houseboat, it triggers questions about three women who knew him. Laura is the troubled one-night stand last seen in the victim's home. Carla is his grief-stricken aunt, already mourning the recent death of yet another family member. And Miriam is the nosy neighbor, clearly keeping secrets from the police. Three women with separate connections to the victim. So this sounds like a really cool thriller. I also love that it takes place like on a houseboat or like the murder takes place on a houseboat, but also I have to assume that it like takes place like near the water, like by a pier. If you saw A Quiet Place 2, I don't know, that whole scene, that like thrilling scene that takes place near boats. Oh my God, that like immediately when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh my God, A Quiet Place 2. So I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be awesome. And I really like this author's writing when it comes to thrillers. So very excited. So those are the two books that I was able to grab from the ALC program from Libro FM. And I also just want to say, no pressure, but I do have a link with Libro FM. And if you use that link to sign up, then I end up getting an audiobook credit, which is really exciting. And I have been using them. Some of you have used my link in the past. And I really want to say thank you. Like, I think that's so nice of you to do that. I was like, oh my God, I got some credits. So no pressure, but thank you to anyone that uses it. It really does mean a lot to me. So anyway, yeah. Now let's get into the final three books, which all have to do with book clubs. So the first book for book club themed books is The Echo Wife. This is a book that I'll be reading for Chanel's book club, the Krusty Book Club. We're going to do a live show on her channel for the discussion on this. And I think it's going to be happening the second weekend of August. So like August 12th or 13th, one of those days. She has all the information on her page, on her Instagram and everything. So if you want to go and join us for that live show, I'm really excited that Chanel asked me to be a part of it. And let me just give you a quick little moment. Martine is a genetically cloned replica made from Evelyn Caldwell's award-winning research. She's patient and gentle and obedient. She's everything Evelyn swore she'd never be. And she's having an affair with Evelyn's husband. Now the cheating bastard is dead, and both Caldwell wives have a mess to clean up. Good thing Evelyn Caldwell is used to getting her hands dirty. So I think that sounds awesome. That sounds like such a cool book to read in August, especially since it feels a little bit sci-fi, right? Because there's a clone, but then there's some mischief and some murder. So I'm really excited to read this, and I'm really excited to talk about it with Chanel and the other people that are going to be on that live show. So I'm so stoked. All right, the next two books are for my book club that I run with Elias and Joel. The first one is The Chosen and the Beautiful. This was our July book pick, so I've already talked about this book, but I haven't read it yet because our book club, or like the live show, wasn't happening until August, but I'm really excited for this one. I've seen a lot of different opinions on it, and I'm excited to have a great discussion with Joel and Elias and everyone on the live show. So there we go. All right, and then the last book, this is our August book club pick. So The Chosen and the Beautiful is July, and then for August, we're reading The Other Black Girl, which sounds amazing. It sounds so good and so thrilling. This book has been compared of like, It's both The Devil Wears Prada and Get Out, which sounds exceptional. I cannot wait to read it. We're reading it in August. We'll probably have the live show for it at the beginning of September, but I am so excited to get to this. It revolves around a main character named Nella, who works at a publishing house, and then she makes a friend named Hazel at the publishing house, and the two of them seem to hit it off really quick until Nella is kind of frozen out from everyone who works there, and then these notes start appearing on her desk telling her she needs to leave the company. So it's a bit of a mystery, it's a bit of like an alienating process, and it sounds so thrilling, and I cannot wait to talk about it on the live show. So join us for reading this in August, and also for The Chosen and the Beautiful. If you have time to read it, we'd love to have you. Anyway, that is the August TBR, my friends. I am so thrilled for these books. Like, I genuinely can't wait for all of them. I can't wait to learn about some Greek myth. I can't wait to listen to some really cool audiobooks. I can't wait to discuss these books on live shows with a couple book clubs. So I'm really stoked. This is going to be such a good reading month. June was awesome for reading. July felt like it was a little bit of a reading slump. Like, I would start books and not finish them. But I'm already like halfway through a book, and then I'm listening to the Sally Rooney book, and I'm really stoked. So anyway, let me know what you're reading in August. Let me know if you're going back to school, and I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!